5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I compliment Chairman Backus and Ms. McCarthy on their good intentions to protect investors. I assume that the advisors mostly fear overregulation by the Consumer Financial Protection Board, and this is maybe a step that might insulate you a little bit from that. I don't think it will do that. I think you'll just have two people overregulating you rather than one. But shifting an unfunded mandate, a burden onto the states, I don't believe is the correct answer. More laws, rules, regulations, more employees, and more costs is not going to solve the problem, as we've seen evidence by Madoff's caper, for example. Madoff's caper was not caused by any lack of laws, rules, or federal employees. It was caused by a lack of employees willing to do their jobs. We had 20-something examiners and 30-something investigators, or vice versa, whatever the numbers are, who just failed to do their jobs. I don't know what they're doing now, but they're the ones that empowered Madoff, not a lack of laws. It appears that the SEC, who is empowered to oversee interstate regulation of securities and things, does not want to do their work and sees this as a great opportunity to shift a burden onto the states, an unfunded burden, I might add, which is not the responsibility of the states. Ostensibly because the SEC has too much work to do and can't afford to do anything else. But we know they have 1,200 lawyers at the SEC who file an average of 1 case a year. I know a lot of lawyers who'd like to have a heavy caseload like that. We know they've squandered millions and millions of dollars on unused office space. And so the question that begs for an answer is not how much money they waste or how much money they spend, but what do they actually do? I mean, we know how much money they spend. Certainly that's not a measure of quality or performance. What do they actually do to protect the public, which is their #1 job, and not employees who don't do their job? Mr. Chair, to put this into proper perspective, and if there's no objections, I would like to ask the SEC to tell us what they do. I'd like the SEC to give us a 1-page summary. And at the top of the page, I'd like the SEC to state all the money that came through the SEC. Reversions, credits, budgeted items, fees collected, penalties. And then I'd like them to list on 1 page what they actually do and how many times they do it. And then the cost of doing each function each time. And those lists of things should total the total money that runs through the agency. And then, Mr. Chairman, I think when I see what the SEC actually does and what it actually costs to do what they say they actually do, I think we'll be put in a whole lot better position to determine how we are going to move forward with allocating resources for enforcement. But I don't think at this time we should waste a whole lot of time and a whole lot of energy or a whole lot of taxpayers' money trying to invent a wheel, particularly a wheel that's already broken. And I yield back, Mr. Chair.